Hi there, I'm Luca DiPietro.
And I'm Noah Seca.
This is your Thundercast. On episode 4, we'll be hearing from Blessed Trinity's Link Crew. We'll have special guests Mr. Cino, as well as Bianca Faraci and Drew Smith to talk a bit more about what the Link Crew does during the year, what they're looking for as application season approaches, and what their fondest memories have been as a part of Link Crew. So today on our show, we're going to be having two Link Crew leaders, aside from myself and Noah, as well as our Link Crew coordinator, Mr. Cino. So welcome to the show, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Good to see you all here. So our first question for the day, it's really for Mr. Cino here. We'd like to know how Link Crew originated, if you could tell that story to us.
Okay, Luke, I'll try to be, we could go on here for a while here, but it actually started out not as Link Crew. It started out as Thunderstruck. That's why we have the Thunderstruck Link Crew name. I would think probably it'll be 10 years now. I think it started in September 2011. So probably the year before that, the school year before that, Mr. DiPasquale and I were in success, and we wanted to come up with something. We had talked about this all the time, but there was nothing really out there, but like something where we could have grade 11s and 12s be kind of leaders for the younger students in the school. But we didn't know exactly how to go about doing it, what kind of events we would put on, how we would choose the students, stuff like that. And even before that, I had known of Link Crew. Link Crew is an American company, an American, it started out in California in schools only in the States. It was probably, I don't know, even years before we started here, where I'd heard of it because my wife was working in Oakville and Burlington and for the Halton region, and they had just opened a school called it's escaping me right now. Iroquois Ridge. Okay, it was a brand new high school in Iroquois Ridge. It was not even a building yet, but they really wanted to have this philosophy around an inclusive school, positive school climate, mental health being a big part of it, all those kinds of things. And the principal was allowed to hire his own staff and come up with his own layout for the building. And I guess he had come across this Link Crew program and philosophy. So back then, I forget, that was way before us, but probably in the 90s, they actually flew out 8 teachers to California to be trained in Link Crew. So that's when I kind of first heard a little bit about it. And then I always was intrigued by it. And then when Mr. DiPasquale and I got together and we were going to try and start this thing, we actually started to inquire, and they started to expand the program out of the United States. So it was in Canada, and there was very few schools in Canada that were doing it. I think Iroquois Ridge was doing it in Oakville, but nowhere else really around here. So we put together a proposal because it was quite expensive to get trained, and we were fortunate to get the money for him and I to go and get trained in Collingwood for 3 days as Link Crew coordinators. So, Noah, you and Luca and Drew and Bianca are here, have gone through the training. So it was pretty intense. We had to go through the training, like pretending like we were students for the first day. And then the second day we went in as the actual leaders. And then the third day was all training to be the coordinators. So it was pretty intense, but it was an incredible experience for both of us. And it was just a great way to actually, we had tried to do it on our own for a year before that in 2011. And I think, we tried. So, it was better than doing nothing. But once we got that training and got a prescribed way to roll out the program, it made a world of difference. So then we really started it as Thunderstruck Link Crew in the school year of 2012.
Perfect. Yeah, I liked it. Nice little spin on that. It's a great story. I really like that because you innovated and you got a trip to Collingwood in it, and you shared a bunch of great leadership training for so many students who have gone through BT in grades 11 and 12. So now for our second question, I'll pass it off to Noah to kind of get a little group discussion going.
The second question here is, why did you guys want to be a part of Link Crew? This extends to all of you. Anyone that has any thoughts or ideas, feel free to share your stories.
Yeah, so I wanted to be a link crew leader because I wanted to help the new grade 9 students feel less nervous about their transition into high school, just like my link crew leaders did when I was in grade 9. So I wanted to make an impact on the new grade 9s just like they did for me.
Yeah, for me, I came from a public school, and Link Crew was an amazing group that made me really comfortable coming to BT because I knew nobody, and I wanted to do the same for the incoming grade nines.
Absolutely. Like that's a fantastic opportunity that we get to have these link crew leaders kind of help us and foster us through learning this new environment that at the beginning of grade 9 I know is scary for all of us. So having link crew is important to kind of helping those grade 9s get comfortable, and then your experience with continuing on that cycle and hoping to keep giving good experiences to the younger generation to keep link crew going is fantastic. That's the same reason I did it. I had two fantastic link crew leaders help me get comfortable with the school, and I'm just trying to continue on that cycle of this being a good experience for the leaders and for the grade 9s. I think that's fantastic.
That's really well said. No, if I could chime in, I know Luca asked me at the beginning, how this started, and I kind of said, that Mr. DiPasquale and I wanted to do something for the school, for the, like you guys are saying too, to help the grade 9s when they come in. But what's come of this, I mean, is seen right here, with the four of you here, and the effect that it's had not just on the grade 9s but on the leaders has been really incredible for us to see over these last 10 years. I mean, like I said, we started it really as a transition program. That's really what it is, to help the grade 9s be comfortable and foster a positive school climate here. Out of this came our motto, which I think we've gotten away from a little bit, and I really like to get back to it. But on the back of all our shirts, this is always be kinder than necessary. And what we really wanted to create here, Mr. DiPasquale's kids were here already. My kids were coming. But we wanted this for all the students to be a place where it was safe to come to, that people really wanted to come to, that they felt comfortable with here. And it's the leaders who have really, over the last 10 years, have done an incredible job of creating that atmosphere here.
Absolutely fantastic, especially high school being a big transition. I know it can be really scary. So that comfortable environment that link crew can provide is amazing. Third question, I'm going to pass it back over to Luca.
Thanks so much, Noah. So now I'd like our three guests to talk a bit about what has been your fondest memory as a part of Link Crew, whether it's been Thunderstruck night or your first orientation day that you led. Could you provide our viewers with some insight on that?
Sure. I mean, I've always enjoyed doing the grade 8 days. I find they're so fun. I mean, especially before COVID, when we could have it in the gym with all the music and games and competitions and prizes. I just thought it was a great atmosphere and everyone was having so much fun. And hopefully we'll be able to put on some more of those activities soon.
Yeah, it was really great to develop some games and activities that were like icebreakers and really get to know our group and connect with them on a different level.
Okay, yeah. I've been through a lot more than you guys, but I would say, my I'm gonna have a couple here, but my fondest memory, I would have to, if I had to pick one, is the first ever orientation that we did as Thunderstruck Link Crew. I can still remember, and I think you guys were fortunate to at least have one where the students, and when you're in grade 9 as well, when the students first come in, the music's going, and they're kind of just like wide-eyed and walking into that gym, and you guys are all there with your yellow t-shirts and welcoming them in there, and when we're piling them all into the stands, is always kind of gives you goosebumps. And for me, like I said, like what's been more, well, not I want to say more, but what's been is just as satisfying for me as the coordinator, is to see the development in the leaders and what you guys are capable of. Sometimes I think youth get a bad rap for some of the video time and being on your screens or whatever. But I think you guys show exactly what, the youth can do for a school. And so when we debrief kind of after the fact, and I've seen what the leaders did that day, I mean, to take on 10 or 12 or 15 students, sometimes you've never seen them in your life, and take them through 2 or 3 hours of different activities and show them around the school and have to be on the whole time and deal with whatever comes up by yourself without any adults, is very, very impressive. And like I said, it makes me feel very, very confident that our future is in good hands if you guys are going to be our future leaders. So that always is a special memory for me each year.
For sure. Thank you for those wonderful answers. They're very inspiring to me, and I'm sure that someone else will really admire your stories. And for our final question, I think Noah's going to take care of that one.
Absolutely. This one's more focused towards Mr. Cino. But if you could give us a little rundown of when applications are going to be released and what you're looking for in potential applications for Link Crew people, or people trying to join Link Crew rather.
Okay, yeah, thanks, Noah. So first of all, I want to acknowledge Mrs. Magnini has been a huge help this year coming on to help me, and she's done a wonderful job. So we haven't decided exactly when the applications will come out and when the deadline will be, but basically it will be similar to last year, where we kind of, especially with the situation we're in, we went a bit later. So I would assume the applications will come out in early April, maybe just before March. Now is our break, which is in April. And then the deadline will be sometime in mid-May. As far as what we're looking for, there's really what we're looking for through the videos and kind of the answers to the questions of why you want to be a Link Crew leader is just like a genuineness to really want to give back to the school and be a positive role model to the school. It doesn't matter if you haven't done anything in the past, and that we've had some really great stories of students, who maybe didn't play on any sports teams or weren't involved in a lot, but then got involved in Link Crew, and it kind of propelled them to get involved more, and then into post-secondary things. If I can just take quickly one, little story. We had a student, his name was Nick Shields. You probably still remember Cat Shields, but Nick was a very bright student, but didn't really do much in grade 9 and 10. He might have tried out for a team. I don't think he played any sports. He was a really good student though. But then he saw what was going on around him, and he said he made a decision in his mind. He's like, I need to get involved in something. I want to give back to the school. He came out for Link Crew, was kind of quiet and shy in grade 11, but did a great job. Came back in grade 12 and was one of our really good leaders. Went on to be the valedictorian of the school, and now is doing some great things post-secondary. So we've had a lot of stories like that. But anybody who really just is genuine and wants to give back to the school and be a positive role model, that's what we're looking for.
Fantastic. I really appreciate you breaking down that whole idea. Thank you so much, everybody. I really appreciate you guys taking out the time to come and answer some of our questions. But that's going to be all. Thanks so much.
Thank you guys for having us. Thanks, Bianca and Drew, for coming out.
That concludes our 4th episode of the Thundercast. On this episode, we heard from Mr. Cino and Link Crew members Drew Smith and Bianca Faraci about Link Crew. Stay tuned and hopefully apply to Blessed Trinity's Link Crew this year. This has been episode 4 of your Thundercast, hosted by Noah Seca
and Luca DiPietro.